Okay. So when do you have auditions for a show that's going to be happening?
We do what we call general auditions during the summertime, and we just put out the announcement that any Vermont actor who wants to come and do an audition for me can just show up, and they do that. And then, based on what I see, I have callbacks for specific shows.
Okay.
So, for instance, I saw about 20 or 30 actors at the general auditions, and then there were some who I thought would be right for this first show, for Inspecting Carol. And I gave them a call and said, would you come in and read for this role, or would read for that role? So that happens for the local auditions, and then a couple times a year I go down to New York City and audition for specific roles down there also.
Do you ever have actors that appear in more than one play during the course of a season? Do you allow that?
We do. As a matter of fact, Andrew, who I just mentioned, will also be appearing in the last show of the season. He'll be in King Lear. And there are a couple of other actors who've done it. We don't do it a lot, but there's our audience kind of likes seeing the same actor do very different roles.
It's sort of an ensemble cast?
Yep, exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
So what kind of gap is there in between each play during the course of your season?
Well, it depends. Our shows this year, let's see, October, December, January, March, and late April. Okay. So anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks between the shows.
Now, I remember up at Royal Tyler, I believe Vermont Stage was doing summer productions.
Yep.
Have you done that since?
We haven't. Since we do 4 or 5 shows during the fall to spring season, we need to take a break.
Sure.
We need to just take a rest during the summertime, and there's so much other summer theater going on that we figure we'll just sort of step back a little bit.
Right. And also, as mentioned last year, because you're called Vermont Stage, there may be a thought down the road of doing a performance of each play somewhere other than Burlington during the course of your year.
There has been some discussion about that, doing some sort of a touring production.
Right.
But nothing in the works for this season.
Okay.
Pretty much going to stay in Flynn space.
Right. Do you tend to, when you do a production, do you sort of gauge it based on the season of the the month of the year? Say some groups would do something in the fall related to Halloween and something related to Christmas or so in December or Hanukkah. Anything like that? Is that how you sometimes gauge it?
Not a whole lot. I mean, the first show of the season has to do with A Christmas Carol, and it will be going on in late October, early November, when people are starting to think about Christmas. That's almost coincidental, though. Although I don't think I would have put that show in the spring because it's got the Christmas tie-in. But usually we don't pay attention to the seasons per se. What we do try and do is we try to start with a comedy, just so that people are excited about the season, and comedies tend to be very popular. And we tend to put our more serious shows in the winter, and I don't know, maybe
the gray skies and the gray thought of what's going on.
Exactly. I think that come springtime, maybe people want something a little bit lighter. Although, having said that, we're doing King Lear this spring, so not so light.
Sure. Now, I was looking at a brochure you sent me. This brochure is the 2007-2008 guide. And where can people find these? How can they get a copy of this?
Well, they can certainly call our office, and we can send them out a physical copy. The great thing, though, is on our website, there's a PDF, and you can download the whole copy. You can print it out for yourself that way. And here's the big thing that's happening tomorrow in 7 days on September 12th.
Right.
Every issue of 7 days will have a copy of that brochure in it.
And that's quite a few thousand.
23,000 of them are going out.
To more than just Burlington, quite around the area.
Exactly, yep.
Now, in this brochure, it mentions a new website. Is this for the first time you're having a website, or is it different than a previous one?
It's a brand new website. Vermont Design Works essentially gave us a whole lot of design and website set up for free.
Okay.
They're one of our sponsors, and they've made it a lot more user-friendly than our old one. The best thing about it is that you can now subscribe online. You can get directly to ticket sales online. You can see a lot more photos and reviews online.
Okay.
So it's a great new website.
Now, they can also call your office with questions.
Yep.
What number would that be?
862-1497.
Okay. And you're the next block down below the Flynn.
That's right.
Down right below St. Paul and Main.
That's right. Yep, 110 Main Street, and people can just walk in and
Yeah.
and say hi at any time.
Right.
Also,
So if they want tickets, which I hope they do and you do too, do they get them at your office or at the Flynn Main box office?
the best way to buy single tickets is through the Flynn, calling 86 Flynn,
Okay.
or going to flyntix.org.
Okay.
That's for single tickets for a show. If you want to buy a whole subscription, you call our office.
Now, are there different choices? I thought I noticed in the brochure there's different variations of subscriptions.
Yep.
So can you kind of explain that?
It's depending on the price. If you want to buy a really inexpensive subscription, as low as $69 to see 4 shows,
Okay.
that would be a Saturday matinee subscription, which means you see the first Saturday matinee of all of the 4 shows.
Right.
If you want more flexibility, the other end of the price range, $125, and you can choose any performance of any show you want.
Okay.
You can get a Thursday night, a Friday night, a Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. So those are the different variations.
Okay. And a few minutes ago you mentioned sponsors. How important are they to you?
Well, as you probably know, nonprofit theater companies only get about half their income from ticket sales.
Right.
The rest comes from contributions. We get a huge amount of support from individuals in the community who just send us contributions on a regular basis. And then there are the business sponsors, people like KeyBank or Chittenden or Redstone or folks like that who give us a contribution, and we support their business, they support
Okay.
us, and then program advertisers also.